Alright, we're over at 3M's. Okay, let's start over again. We're over at 3M's global headquarters, and there's a protest here. We'll find out exactly what the protest's about, but it's been going on since noon, and it'll be going until 3 o'clock. And this is located right by Interstate 94 in McKnight and Hudson. So right here. So you guys with the protest? Oh, okay. So how come you guys came out today?
Because we believe in choice.
All right.
Not mandates.
And the 3M is, I think, doing the requirement for a vaccination, or else you get fired.
Yep.
All right.
That's illegal.
Yeah. Have they been offering conscientious objection or medical or religious exemptions?
What I've seen is they're offering limited religious and medical exemptions. So what that means, whatever arbitrary number they're going to pick,
Yeah.
you know, for who gets accepted and who doesn't, I don't know.
All right. This is what you're protesting for right here.
Yeah.
Stop the mandate.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Thank you very much.
yeah.
Going good. You came here for the same reason, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Don't even work here.
You don't even work here?
I used to. We were part of drug delivery that got sold off recently.
Oh, recently, yeah.
Yep.
Did your spin-off require you to get vaccinated?
No, we're gonna go with the mandate if it ever gets written, but they'll give us a testing option.
Yeah. Well, there's no mandate right now.
I know.
Yeah. The Governor Walz had a mandate, executive order, what he had, and then he rescinded the executive order. So there isn't one right now. All there is right now are things like school board policies and corporate policies and stuff like that. And they're all doing all this stuff, and they're threatening people with being fired or being treated differently, like pariahs.
Oh yeah.
So it's sad.
It is. It's really sad.
Hello. Doing good. And Raul. Good morning. Good morning. You're welcome, yeah. Medical freedom.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, how you doing? You got a good sign. It's a big point too, the breastfeeding mother. So what do you guys think about medical mandates on people where they haven't done testing?
Horrible. They shouldn't do it. They shouldn't do it.
Well, shouldn't they at least be testing?
Yeah.
And the idea is if they're giving the mothers something, then effectively they're giving it to the infant too. And it's not approved for the infant, right?
Right?
So.
Same goes for mandating it for pregnant women.
That's right. Yep. Thank you.
Yep.
As a Native American Indian, trust me, we watch it happen to us. Now we're watching it happen to you.
This is a good one here.
Isn't it?
Yeah, 3M.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Imagine that.
Malicious medical mandates. So they're requiring mandates for you to stay working here. Is that right?
December 8th.
December 8th. If you don't have your shots started or finished or what?
Yep.
What is it? Finished?
It is finished by December 8th, yes.
So they would have to start pretty soon, right? Because you have to have a separation between the first and the second one.
Correct.
So if you don't get them done by December 8th, they're going to fire you. Are there any provisions for conscientious objection and medical mandate or medical exemption or religious exemptions?
It is medical exemption and religious exemption, nothing for conscientious.
Okay. And in any event, the alternative might be also they make you do testing, right?
There is no testing option.
No testing option?
Nope, there is no testing option within the executive order that was presented by Biden, the only one that has been signed for federal contractors.
Okay. You know what referenced contract that is? Because I know that I'm not familiar with that one.
It is the one and only executive order that he has. I don't have the number off the top of my head.
Okay, but that's one that the Biden has got out for
Yes.
federal contractors?
Correct, yes.
And that's what they're citing?
Yes.
I'll try to find it. So, all right. I've got the Waltz ones.
The what?
Governor Waltz had an executive order, and then, which he mostly rescinded.
Yes.
I don't have the Biden one, so I'll try to find it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Robert.
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Not bad. I left out sitting. I was like, on my way. Then I forgot all this stuff. It's like, so I ran home quick and got it.
Oh, I always have this in my car. I can do a protest anywhere, at any time, right now.
There you go.
I got all my flags and blowhorns, and
Yeah.
I got all my gear in the car all the time.
I
So,
said I've been packing these for kids.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, like I saw these guys, our fight is just starting. You
Yeah.
know, this isn't going to end tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's, these guys, these little kids are going to inherit this.
yeah,
You're gonna inherit
that's like a 10 watt.
Yeah, just a little off of go around and make noise.
You
Yeah,
guys were at the rally on Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday. Yeah.
So how did you find out about this?
We're in the loop. We hear everything.
If you show up,
Hard to hear about stuff though.
well, if you start showing up, then people like Cammie will tell you about it. We all get told. Most everybody notifies word of mouth because they're a little bit worried about advertising it.
Right.
You know, so it's mostly word of mouth. And we'll do these word of mouth, and we'll turn out 100 people, 200 people, no problem. And right now, the other team can't hardly turn out 50. Right, even with their money and stuff, they can't turn out anybody. They used to turn out a lot of people because they have money. These people aren't getting paid. They're just showing up, right? How much are you getting paid?
I don't get paid anything. I'm all over the state. I'm up and down, north, south, east.
None of us.
paid anything either.
I
Oh,
cross the
Cammie,
state
she's
line.
got the big bucks coming in, right?
Well, I wish.
No, we don't have any of the uniforms where we're getting
No,
paid
here's-
by the hour.
Here's the problem, though, is that like you get all these people that have excuses. They make too many excuses. Well, I have to go to work. Well, I got to pick up my kids from school, or I don't have a baby. I mean, you got to stop and ask yourself. We don't get a penny. We put our lives on hold to come out and fight for everybody. Like, I don't know half these people here, but what I do know is they are all Minnesotans, and we're all on the same team, and we all have the same damn fight. These kids, each and every one of these kids are going to inherit that fight after we're done. That's why I bring these. Let them use their voice. Teach them, to speak up and stand up for themselves. Bottom line is, though, people are making way too many excuses for why they can't come up. When, you know what, if you don't, you're not going to have a life to worry about.
You know what would happen if we allowed people with.
at any rallies, but I meet people, I connected them. We get on Facebook pages. That's
right.
Connections.
You know what we should do is we should just ban people that have white shoes.
Yeah,
Because
I know,
most of us don't have white shoes, right? There's only a
It's a lot
small
of work to keep those whites.
yeah, there's
You
only
gotta
a
give it some
small
credit.
percentage of the population, that are racist shoes.
I know, huh?
Right?
I know.
So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna mandate that you can't have white shoes. Everybody that's got white shoes on is in trouble.
All right. That's right.
Okay, then you know what we're gonna do after that?
Yeah.
Gray shoes are illegal. right?
When you talk about the white shoes and that guy being a pain in the ass in trouble, you probably be right.
Well, we know the white shoes go the white, but
I just found out
you
about
can't.
this on Sunday afternoon from my wife in California. She's on vacation in California, and she sends me this Facebook page. So,
Yeah, basically you have to stand up for people's rights, even ones you don't like. You know, if you see we saw a woman being beaten on Saturday, right? Being attacked on the march.
oh, really?
Just a random, as a domestic, right? You can't let stuff like that happen, right?
Somebody in the march, or
There's a random person along there was a husband and wife apparently, right? They're just, getting into a domestic right in front of 3,000 people. That was kind of dumb, especially when running video and the whole thing. But you can't let that kind of stuff happen. You can't if you see, let's just see, you see somebody being brutalized by somebody or being harassed, being harassed by, you can't just sit there.
somebody stepped in.
You have to step in. If you don't step in, who's gonna? If you don't step in for other people, who's gonna step in for you? And if everybody does a little bit, it's a lot easier.
There's at least a 100 here.
Oh, there's a fair number.
For short notice.
A very short notice, yeah. He didn't put out a lot of flyers. Basically, most people didn't know about it. It wasn't on a lot of the main groups. This wasn't widely advertised.
Graham has a Telegram group, not the.
This was pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go, Brandon!
Yeah.
Let's go, Brandon!
That's a good one.
Video over to the plains.
Look, did you hear us in the
Let's walk up and take a look at those bigger signs.
Were you at the Capitol? Yeah.
Morals and ethics over corporate greed. This is a fairly novel idea. And then these are reusable, I think. So why are you holding this sign today?
Because I made it.
You made it yourself?
I made it a while ago, and I decided it's the only sign that I actually have.
Okay, all right. How many stars have you got on that? Enough?
I know it's not 50, but it's.
Well, you actually have one of the patterns. I'm not sure if that's a 12 by 21 stars.
That's cool.
I think that might have actually been a flag at one point. 21 stars.
Nice.
I don't know.
Yeah, I just have to put as many stars on this as I could.
Yeah, all right. You followed. All right, we're good. Thank you.
I'll be back.
Oh, you're on this. Yep.
So who made these? They're all mostly the same. He did? Okay. We saw him in Wisconsin.
But he's retiring. He was the plant manager for
So is your protest with the group or is it separate?
Oh yeah, I'm an individual. I don't know these people.
Like you by yourself?
Yeah.
You're not supporting anti-mandates and stuff?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course I am.
All right.
It's part of a war on humanity.
I think that's what the deal is. It's a war of oligarchy potentially, right? And they're using these kinds of things basically to subrogate people. So you were quoting Sun Tzu. Well, why were you quoting Sun Tzu?
Because I feel we are being deceived. This is a war by the elites on the lesser that they feel a lot of humans are, and they want to take control and power, and they're lying to everybody, saying that this is for your safety and you have to get it and it's going to protect you, and you're a bad person if you don't.
Yeah.
You're excluded from society.
Yeah. When
Against passports.
Yeah.
No, it's all pure evil. It's all totalitarianism right in our face. We gotta stand up and not be scared.
Not be scared.
Time to be men, time to have courage, time to be brave. Stand up to this evil.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Personal email address at all? No, what do you mean? No, you should bring it right in.
What's up, Robert?
Well, not too much. I like when somebody starts to quote philosophers, but I was hoping that he would give me some good ones, but he didn't. But no worries.
What was happening?
Sun Tzu. I like it when they start getting like that, but
Where the Karen Levin guy going?
I think they left. Yeah. They just come here, take a couple of shots, and say that, basically this is a big story because they're protesting 3M.
Yeah.
And 3M is a big, any kind of a protest against 3M is significant.
Well, again, like those people that were saying here that were speaking, they have a government contract. These people are supplying masks and healthcare, protective covering.
Yeah. Well, they were saying that the reason for these orders coming from 3M were because of Biden issuing an executive order to all government contractors.
Yes.
So I'm going to have to look that one up. So they're saying as a government contractor, they're required to comply with this order based on their agreements.
Yeah.
So that'd be something to look up. I wouldn't be surprised that they have stuff like that, because I know a lot of times they do try to enforce rules like that based on you do business with us, so you have to comply with all of these
All you
rules.
got to do is look back at the threats Biden made to leverage Ukraine. He told them, "You play ball or."
Yeah,
What's that term? Quid pro quo. What?
nepotism too,
What?
right?
What? Yeah.
All you have to do is give my son Hunter a whole bunch of money,
There you go.
and then all of his problems are just going to go away.
Same thing with these guys. It's all the same.
All you got to grease Hunter's hands a little bit, palms.
But it's the same thing, even with like government contractors like 3M. It's manipulative. You've got the power, you've got the money, you hold that contract, you can determine if they're going to keep that contract or not. And again, we're back to quid pro quo.
Yeah, and the thing is, companies like 3M, well, we absolutely depend on 3M. Guess who makes most of these masks, right? But even though we depend on them to produce stuff that we need, we're still going to exploit them and try to apply rules against them based on bureaucratic stuff. It's sad. It's this guy.
Sorry.
Engineers applying for other jobs.
So are you going to talk?
I can.
Okay.
Where do you want me to talk? Right here? Should I stand here so you can get the
All right.
Hold on.
Are you talk on camera or you do some public speaking, like out loud? Out front?
He's got a blowhorn for you.
He's got one too. I heard him blast it out when I first pulled up.
Yeah.
I mean, I can talk to everybody. I don't care. It's up to you guys.
I think it's good for you. Whatever you want to do.
How do you guys want it on your video?
Well, video would be nicer if it was away from the road. The road's quite noisy, but
Do you want me to talk to the whole group?
a blowhorn would be good.
Somebody want to hold on to that? I won't be able to do the blowhorn and hold that.
If you don't, I will. I got all the way.
Well, having the backdrop is nice.
Well, we can move it.
Yeah.
You know what? All he needs is a flag behind him, or he could use that.
I think a flag, having somebody like the flag is good.
Don't break my sophisticated setup here. How far back do you want it?
Doesn't matter. Whatever you think looks good. I'll get pretty close so I get a good audio.
Okay. So do you want me to do it, the blowhorn, and talk to everybody, or you just want me to talk now?
I can hear you just fine.
All right.
Cammy might not. My audio is better, but
Let's do this.
All right.
anytime you want to go.
We're out here in front of 3M Corporate, Building 220, to address the mandates that our corporation is trying to ram down on the people who are not going to take the vax. There's a lot of people, not just in this area, but all across the nation, that are not going to take the vaccination. There's a lot of data out there if you want to do some digging. And we are here to stand with our plants that are being told on December 8th that they have to get the vax or else. And in this country, our Constitution does not allow our government the powers to create this type of a mess. Our corporations and our leadership could easily, not just 3M, but corporate America could stand up to this, tell the government they don't have this power. But they're too busy down on their knees for their next big quarterly bonus. So it's created an issue. Our federal government just keeps spending money, and we're in a big corporate welfare system that has created this. The corporation, the only reason the corporation and the management is shitting on their employees that create, especially in the plants, that create their products, that make their money, is because they want their next big check from the government, and the government should not have the power, does not have the power. If you go look at the Constitution, it does not have the power to do this. The problem is The American people have been asleep at the wheel, and we have allowed them to sit and do this crap behind our back while we're just trying to live a nice life, comfortable life, and we're standing up. So this isn't about vax or no vax. This is about our God-given rights, and our founding documents were created to protect our rights. Our government was created to protect our rights, but we fell asleep. But we're not asleep anymore, and we're coming to take our rights back. So it ain't a Democrat or Republican issue anymore. If you're still talking Democrat or Republican, you don't understand the problems in our country. Our country's divided, and it's divided by our politicians, especially at the high levels. If you look at the fundraising that's done, millions and millions of dollars are raised off of divisive issues. I can sit down and talk to anybody. I don't care what side of the aisle it is, but everybody's pitched a narrative. So one side has a crisis, they raise money off it. The other side has a crisis, they raise money off it. They divide us, and they are bankrupting our country to gain and keep control and have power. Our country was not founded this way, and we're taking it back. So as far as I'm concerned, our corporate head honchos, they have no moral, ethical standards. The people in the plants, you know, they were there. They worked through COVID. It's no different than the hospitals. They worked through COVID, and now they're just trash. You know, they've already had COVID. They have the immunity. They have the antibodies. You know, I don't even understand it. You know, the people that are vaxxed, that's their choice. That's what we're here. We're here to stand up for choice. That's their choice to get vaxxed. But the people that don't want it, they don't want it. That's their choice too. So we're here to represent choice, and obviously the corporation is putting their bottom line ahead of choice, and it's just not what we're going to stand for. And I don't think they realize the number of people that are going to walk the heck out based on this deal. You know, it's about choice, and they better wake up. And anybody who you know, is familiar with 3M knows their compliance courses are all about protecting 3M liability. That's what the corporation is all about. It's all about liability and protecting themselves so they can make the next buck. You know what? Don't do your compliance courses until our management and upper level people actually study the Constitution. And, you know, they'll realize if they look at the Constitution that none of this is legal. They need to tell the federal government to go pound sand. They don't have this power. If they would do that, corporate America would tell the government to pound sand. This would be over tomorrow. So this is for the plants. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Thank you. Have you considered the idea of doing that, like having small lawsuits? I can change this. Having small lawsuits, for example, for yourself. What's 3M telling you? They're saying that if you don't get the jab after a certain time, you get let go.
December 8th,
and you have to have it completed by then, right?
Yep.
So there's some of those are a 2-shot series, so you have to start earlier.
You have to start at a certain time. I don't know. They laid it all out. I don't know. I'm not getting the jab, so I haven't.
So that's what they're telling you, and so and they also are limiting your ability to use mandate like exemptions.
You can there's medical and religious exemptions and stuff that you can fill out. You know, I don't know. I haven't done anything yet. You know, we shouldn't have to go through this. It's all coercion.
Yeah.
You know, they could end this tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
you could individually file a claim for yourself, or you could also fight for yourself. And lots of people could individually be doing that, fighting for themselves.
I would say our court system's as sick as the government. So, you know.
No, but you know that they're
at some point. Yes, I think we'll be able to win this in court. That's where it's going to have to be won. But
small claims.
In the short term, courts don't move fast enough to fix this. So.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much.
See all those rounds, great. And here's the thing. That is.
You got a sign here. It's about human rights. Yes. So, are you familiar at all with human rights and what's going on here?
Well, according to Nuremberg.
Nuremberg, yeah.
Yes.
what happened there.
Oh, Nuremberg. Okay, that's a good one. You want to talk about Nuremberg?
Well, I'm not really prepared to give a really good speech.
I'll get you so you're not in your eyes aren't in yet. Well, whatever you want to talk about.
Well, people do have the right to decide what to inject in their bodies, especially when it's experimental medication.
Yep.
And this is definitely
right, I gotta
experimental
go.
medication.
I gotta go
It
reshoot my
wasn't
video because the
properly
damn
tested
camera
on
wasn't on.
animals. The testing period is only for a few months at most. They haven't done any sort of biomarker testing. They could have done some tissue sampling on animals, but they didn't do that. There's no blood testing. There's actually a very good study by Ron Kostoff et al. That was just published, and it's called "Why Aren't We Vaccinating Children?" And in that study, they went through the kinds of biomarkers and things that people should be checking when they develop the vaccines, and about how long vaccine development normally takes. It normally takes decades, actually, because you want to ensure that it's safe, that there are no adverse long-term effects. And in this case, when this vaccine, well, when we have a disease that has, 99.98% survival rate, why are we giving people vaccines where we don't even know what the adverse long-term effects are when the survivability is this good? So it just seems like it's a violation of personal choice by forcing it down people's throats. So anyway,
Human rights.
and 3M, stand up for your employees, stand up for your rights. Don't bow to tyranny, whatever Biden tells you to do. Do the right thing. Show some 3M values.
Thank you.
Come on.
So either one of you guys have any talk about tyranny, or why you feel that this is tyrannical?
Well, I think that technically a lot of Americans don't realize that the current FDA approval is actually not set for Comirnaty. That's not even being made until 2024. The current vaccines that even the corporate in the government that's trying to mandate it to everyone is technically still experimental. And regardless if it's experimental or not, every human being has bodily sovereignty, God-given rights, and constitutionally protected rights, where we have a right to refuse any medical procedures that are asked of us. No governmental entity or any corporation has any right or any say into our body. This is the last bit of your freedom left. If you're going to comply to this, you are submitting to that cause and you're not helping. So I'm taking a stand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was good. So why is it your duty to resist?
Why?
Why is it your mom maybe?
Future. If this fails, it's all downhill.
This might be the reason why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you. The fight like hell. We're all from Minnesota, right? People, the guy from Home Alone. What we do in Minnesota is we fight like hell. We fight until hell freezes over, and then you know what we do after that?
Keep fighting.
No, we fight on the ice. We just keep going. We don't give up.
Yeah, fight on the ice.
Here's a great bunch of people here. Woo! Enjoying the beautiful weather here.
Good day for a picnic.
Well,
I got a couple of good little videos.
People starting to realize that we learned the wrong dominoes.
That they're starting to say, hey, maybe something's going on here, because now this doesn't look right. Yeah.
Even the other team is starting to go on this stuff. I'm starting to wake up about it, you know.
Yeah.
Because they're starting to realize that this isn't right.
It's overwhelming.
But here's the thing too, though. It's one thing to have that fight for us to stand and make a chance to take that fight. Even more importantly, it's important that we teach the kids, because they're going to get a Heritage Festival. We're done. And it's not going to be over their lifetime either. They're still going to be fighting for their children, their grandchildren's rights. So, yeah.
I just got done reading 1984.
Do you want to talk about 1984?
My goodness, I was making notes and dog-earing pages, and messing with the language and making it smaller, and so that you really literally cannot communicate critical thinking or even think critically, and about the thought police and about Big Brother and about the battle is in the mind and control, and it was sad, but I guess it was affirming in a way to say that this stuff is happening. It might sound really outrageous, but it is outrageous, but it's true. It's happening, and we need to be able to identify truth and lies, and we need to identify what we're fighting for and what we're fighting against, who's the enemy, and how do you go about doing that in a truthful and honoring way to stand up for truth and righteousness. So, yeah, little by little, got to do it honorably.
Well, you just said you recently read George Orwell's 1984, right? What parallels are you seeing right now, like today, between the book and what's going on right now?
Well, the first thing I noticed was the newspeak and the political correctness and language, control of language and control of the narrative. Also erasing and rewriting history so that there's a complete denial of reality. And even if something actually happened, what do they call it? The Ministry of Truth can rewrite it, and then if it changes, if it doesn't actually even happen that way, they can rewrite it again. So it doesn't matter what happens in reality at all. It's whatever you write about it and whatever you tell people. And the whole goal in 1984, the party's goal is to rule people's minds and to keep them in this agitated state against something with hatred and energy. They even have the hour of hate, or the 2 minutes of hate, or whatever it is, each day, that just keeps them in this agitated state of, and it's a denial of reality, and it's dehumanizing. I mean, you see all that kind of stuff here. Like social media and even Instagram and Twitter, where really, can you think critically or say something meaningful in, a few words?
And not be censored.
And so it's just, that's one of the things. And breaking down the family and normal responsibility and incentive to be creative and do good. It's inhuman. So, but there are people in power who want more power and want to control everything. But ultimately, God's in control, and He'll use it all for His ultimate purposes, and we just need to be good soldiers in the meantime. So,
very cool.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, thank you. We've had some good speakers here. We had the guy over here that was doing Sun Tzu. We've had people that were talking Sun Tzu. We had people talking Nuremberg. We had some good ones. It's nice when they start talking about a particular, thing and a parallel.
Yes. It was a long walk. Yeah. He cheated.
Oh yeah.
I had to go up and set up for speaking. So.
Oh my gosh, he cheated. We didn't cheat.
Okay, trust me. I go all over the state. I go all over the country. If I had to walk everywhere, I'd never get anything done.
You're a professional.
Yes.
That's right.
I get up front center. I make noise. I rile people up. And I get people fired up. I get people mad, angry, and I encourage them to speak and use their voice.
Yeah, and I think people need that, because there's so many people who feel like we do, who have researched, who know what's going on, and aren't making things up. It's all there, and they're connecting the dots. And a lot of them are thinking, but what do I do? they feel powerless.
Exactly.
So that's one of the reasons I came here today, because my husband
Well, what
isn't
can
here.
you do?
Yeah, and I
Use
thought-
your voice. It takes one person to start something. Because what if someone else wants to do it, but they're too scared? So it takes one person.
The person-
One person. So if that one person doesn't, then that person is say, well, fuck him. He's doing it. Let's go. And then before you know it,
Yeah, the person who
Yeah.
let me know that this was happening today, she didn't want to come on her own, and I said, "Oh, we need to go because
Yeah.
we'll regret it
So-
if we don't. This is our
I didn't
opportunity
come
to
with
make our
anyone.
voices heard."
So your friend helped you to. Well, you came here on behalf of your friend.
Well, no, she's here with me, but she wouldn't have come if we didn't come together, and I'm here without my husband because he's actually doing his job at home, like he has been for the past 18 months.
So Cammie was talking about the idea of one person standing up.
I'm just saying, if we don't know what everyone else is thinking. What if someone else, thinking the same thing, but they're afraid? Well, what if that one person, you, who's not afraid, one voice? It takes one voice, and maybe that one voice will, wake up all these others who's afraid to say something, And I went to the Capitol at the beginning of this whole thing, and now I know a whole shitload of conservatives fighting for, standing up for our country. Standing up for our country. I shouldn't say fighting, but standing up. We're rising above everything, and we're
standing for something.
We're protecting our Constitution. We're protecting our freedom.
Trying
and our kids. That means more and more people's taking the kids out of public schools and going into private or homeschooling. I'm one of them. My daughter said no to the mask, and they would not allow her in school. She said no. And the principal was like, well, you have the final say. I'm like, no, she's got the final say because she has to wear it. So, and I support her. So now I'm officially homeschooling, and actually I'm enjoying it. So I'm teaching her about the Constitution. I'm teaching her about, grammar. So she's gonna learn the proper grammar, and she's gonna learn all that.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. You gotta when you're doing these things, you gotta end it at some point.
I was trying to shut up.
Yeah, because when you keep on going, then it's like,
you
well, then
should talk. You keep on going.
I ramble along a lot, but you want to summarize and have a stop, so that way it makes it easy for a cut. I don't usually splice things up too much. What's this alive? So how come you came here today? Oh, you're not here, okay. How come you came here today? It's your duty? Follow the science. How long has immunity been around?
As long as there's been people around, probably.
How long has this vaccine been around?
A lot less than that.
A lot less than that?
We don't know the answer to that.
That's right. It's brand new. Hasn't been tested appropriately. It's being mandated prior to a whole bunch of things that everybody else's vaccine had to jump through.
What about the Hippocratic Oath?
Yep. This is a good one. Medical interventions are not one size fits all. How come you guys are here today?
Well, we don't have anyone working here for 3M, but we're representing all the people who are for medical freedom. So
People maybe who don't have their own voice or aren't able to come out and do this.
exactly, people in other businesses that haven't mandated yet, or that are mandating, but they don't have a lot of voices speaking out against it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You got a good sign. So how come you're here today?
I'm with my wife, supporting her.
Do you work here?
Yep.
Okay, so but you're here supporting her, and
Yeah.
and you're here for the same reason, supporting yourself, I suppose. So why are you here today?
Because I don't go along with this mandate. It's unconstitutional, goes against the Nuremberg Code, goes against my religious beliefs.
Is this a choice, like your husband's saying? Getting the jab, is it a choice
No,
for?
there is no choice. There is no choice.
You're being given this deal where you have to get it or else you get let go.
Yep.
And they're saying that you're voluntarily getting let go too because you're choosing not to do what's required.
Exactly.
But of course, nobody should quit because you can make them fire you.
They're trying to force her to quit too.
Well, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to force you to quit.
They're writing her up.
And then once.
Up for social distancing violations when it's never been before, and all of a sudden, now they're writing her up.
They're just making up stuff, yeah.
It happened 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, because if
They're
you.
bringing it up now because they know I'm against it.
They're putting you on steps and stuff.
Yep.
So one of the things that they've been doing to people is people that comply and people that don't comply, they're trying to separate them into two different groups.
People that hate each other.
Yep, so you got one group of people who are the approved type of people, and you have this other type of people who are not approved. Let's just say one of them have, is that historically a good thing?
It comes down to racism when you look at it that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it comes down to
100%.
Yeah, so basically, so you have a separate but equal possibly thing going on.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like CRT, that's what they're doing with our children. They're splitting them up in masks, colors, creed, they're doing the whole thing. But that's okay, right? That's a choice that the kids are making, right? That's what they say. It's all wrong. Everything's upside down. It doesn't make any sense to the mass majority, and they're hiding the fact that the mass majority feels this way. That's
You
why.
can't trust any of the numbers that you see anywhere.
No, MSM's gone crazy. They're off the charts with stupidity. I can't say it enough. All people need to stand up against this. I don't care who you are because they're coming after all of us.
Right.
Right now, it's just a little sliver of people standing here talking.
Yeah, they'll come. That's one of the quotes from World War II, right?
100%.
Is initially they came for, let's say, the Jehovah Witnesses.
Yeah.
And then they come for that. Then they come for the people that have got Down syndrome.
Yep.
And then they come, and then next thing you know, they start coming after the gypsies, or whoever. And then eventually they start coming after you. But by the time they come for you, there's nobody left.
Right, and it's going to be too late. And I was just talking with Joe over here. He said the same thing. And it's a rapid pace we're up against here. And they've got a few years. And this first 10 months now we're looking at. It's just been.
This goes back about a decade. It started about a decade ago.
Yeah, I hear you. Yep.
It is what it boils down to is the event. Well, we've been waiting for this biggest transfer of wealth of power in history, and that's what it is. And anybody that's done history that knows about the Middle Ages, you understand with the feudal system.
Yeah.
With the attack is they don't really give a shit about the facts. They don't care about our voices. We are basically targeted to be exterminated, whether physically killed off or squashed into submission. One way or another, they're going to try to get rid of us and rid of us, the people that will oppose and stand up and take a stance.
Yep.
Here's how it works, is if you go back into the beginning of COVID, what was attacked first? Private businesses, the middle class, jobs. And once they start crushing that out, they started eliminating the opposition. Now Rome at one point was much like America. Rome had a governmental system, they had Congress, they had Senate. At the fall of Rome, all its citizens that once had freedom were spread throughout Europe, and they were subject to be dependent on the monarchies. And that was the system, that was the feudal system. That was lords and vassals, peasants and serfs. The peasants and serfs were dependent on the lords and vassals, on the power and control to survive. And so that's what they're looking for. Again, and I tell people all the time, all you got to do is look at the past year. You look at Kamala Harris and the Juneteenth celebrations. You had people in D.C. having lavish banquets, but the servants were masked, standing behind them. The Juneteenth was a commemoration of the Emancipation Proclamation, of the end of slavery, yet they had the black servants serving the elite. The elite, the power and control. You look at the Emmys, you had all these, because they were athletes, because they were entertainers, because they were political figures. All these people were suddenly, had nothing to do with the vaccination, had nothing to do with the mask. They were given exemption just because of their status at the Emmys. Who walked behind them holding their dress tails? The servants. It's a pretty clear indication what they're looking for. You look at what they've done with the kids. They've systematically trained them to be compliant, not to listen to their parents. And I was telling these guys earlier, look what happened 6-7 years ago with that push Islam in our schools. It had nothing to do with pushing Islam. It had to do with getting our children to listen to the schools, to defy their parents. Your child could have been Hebrew, could have been, Christian, could have been Buddhist. They wanted your children to defy their parents and listen to them about Islam. Not because they wanted to push Islam, but they wanted to push compliancy and control. Look at the mask mandates. It's all the same. It's compliancy. It's getting Americans to bow down. But it's not even us. We're making this stance. It's you get the kids. You teach, train, and indoctrinate them first. This is one of the fights that I take, and I go all over the country doing this, all over the state doing this. As a Native American Indian, we've had that happen to us. We sit back, many of us sit back. As conservatives with the American Indian Coalition, we sit back and we're watching what happened to us, from smallpox-infested blankets to reservations to the compliancy and the dependency on the American government. We're watching it all happen to you now. And that's what they're doing. It's the eradication, the extermination of the middle and upper middle class. Let's get rid of the people that are going to stand up and fight.
It's going to happen.
This audio here will get you, if I made a clip of that, it would get you muted. Facebook muted 100% because of that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
One of these guys will hear that.
Yeah.
I'm 100%. So,
I like your Nuremberg quote, because the Nuremberg, there's actually literally Nuremberg stuff about well, recently they're talking about the dogs.
Yeah.
Right?
That's wrong. That's disgusting.
It's wrong. That's right. It's disgusting. Torturing animals to death.
Yeah, I asked my supervisor, I said, well, what about a person's natural immunity? What about if we've already had COVID? Surely we can do an antibody test and say, here you go, I've got my immunity. Nope. We're just following rules.
Yeah. They're being set by the government, by Biden.
I say they're getting paid.
Yeah. Thank you.
Line in your pocket.
The guy was telling my daughter's principal, why don't you stand up to these? Stand up to these.
Denying reality.
But anyway, what made me
Here's another one. This one's on Title 7. So what's your sign mean?
What's my sign mean?
Yep, Title 7.
Title 7. It's important to know what your rights are. And with Title 7, in Chapter 12, it talks about religious freedoms.
So do you want to talk about Title 7, Chapter 12?
Just so people woo!
Somebody's speaking to you.
Do I want to? I don't want to.
You don't want to?
But
Are you familiar with Title 7?
I am.
Okay. What's Title 7?
Title 7 is
Where do you find Title 7?
your civil rights.
part of the.
It's a federal law
Okay.
and your civil rights.
Okay.
So people need to know about Title VII and your religious freedoms.
Okay.
Because what they're doing is wrong. It's against the law.
Is the Biden administration messing with Title VII at all, like they do with other things like Title IX?
Oh yeah, and then look at Chapter 12.
Yeah. Are they changing that? Like right now, a lot of times with Title IX, for example, Betsy DeVos reversed a lot of the stuff in Title IX.
Yeah, I'm not going to mess with Betsy DeVos. That's a whole other can.
But what I'm saying is now we got ourselves a new person, right? And the new person's reversing a lot of that stuff and mandating all kinds of stuff in Title IX.
Yeah, well,
now Title VII, I'm not sure who's in charge of Title VII. Which one of the secretaries might be the one that controls Title VII, or I don't know which one, but yeah, federal government, and they're going through and they're writing like dear colleague letters and things like that are yeah. Okay.
Pass a law on this?
So are you seeing stuff on Title VII like dear colleague letters and things like that are impacting things?
I'm not even. I don't work with them.
Oh, all right.
I just want people to know that a mandate is not a law.
That's right.
So.
All right.
That's all I got.
All right. Thank you.
Freedom Conference up in Alexandria.
Think so?
I'm gonna have a revolution. We're not even no civil war.
So like the Tea Party kind of a movement, or?
I don't know. We're trying to stop it before that happens. We don't.
Well, right now, basically, we're falling within our constitutional rights to petition the government and to, protest and stuff. And
But what are they doing to the Constitution?
how do you feel about the government writing the laws by having little bureaucrats doing it?
Yeah, that's not right. That's not how it works. That's not how it's supposed to work.
So bureaucrats are writing. Yeah.
It's gone. The executive branch is making laws now. That's not how it works here.
Well, everybody is. The feds, the federal, all the bureaucrats are doing it.
CDC's doing it.
Everybody.
That's not right. And it's even coming down to local, the schools. What? That's not right.
School boards.
That's where we need to start. We need to start with the schools. Work our way up to local government. And it's hard to get involved. Too many people are working. That's going to change. We're going to see a lot of people out of work. There's going to be a lot of people, and hopefully they're willing to get involved in it. Because that's the only thing that's going to change. And it's going to be generational. I do agree. It starts with the kids.
Yep.
If we don't start working from the bottom, that's how it all happened. It started with kids. We put our girls in college. Our girls were raised moderate conservative.
Yeah.
We tried to do what we thought was right.
And they come back from college.
They were destroyed.
Yeah.
It's all destroyed. It's all gone. And it's sad to us.
I think the good news about these college kids is they come back from college all ultra leftist, and then they start working.
First thing they see is the money coming out of their check.
And then they're all upset, like, well, that's not how it's supposed to work. It's not supposed to come out of my my check. It's supposed to come out of, their check. And once they start having to pay the taxes, and once they start seeing all this stuff that they voted for impacting them, then all of a sudden they come back. So they'll come back. Just might take some time.
Yeah. Hopefully we're still here by then.
Hopefully. All right.
We don't have that revolution. And God forbid.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's not about, it's about power and money, so yeah.
So what's this all about, Cammie?
Power and money.
You think so?
Help, please, yeah. For all the power and the money.
So this is all about
Power, money. Power and money.
Cammie's good at bringing it all home and summarizing. She's actually pretty good at summarizing.
That's why he likes to throw me on the actual news
You know,
guy.
because-
Hey, put her on the news. Yeah.
Because it's important to be pithy. You have it, because the shorter your message.
Well, look at what happened at the Rochester news. Yeah, I was amazing.
You want to be pithy. Now you can go for, if you're really, really good, going for half an hour can be good. But you have to be like on fire.
I limit myself like I do at school boards or city council meetings. 5-7 minutes max.
Well, a lot of times they're 2 minutes.
Well, I mean, if you can get it in 5 to 7 minutes, the way I figure it, if you've got a lot to say, a lot of times you get people that want to address too. People say things while you're midstream. People throw some out and you address it. Most city council meetings, or if you look at Senate committees, Senate hearings, they got a 5-minute timeline. A lot of school boards, city councils are 3 minutes. I look at a good song. If you can't say what, you can't get your message across in the time that a good rock song plays.
It's too long.
Yeah, too long.
Yeah.
Too long.
Yeah.
Yep.
Short and sweet.
Short and sweet, yeah. This is a good one. Whose sign is that? That's yours? You want to talk about that one?
That's right.
That's a good sign you got there. So you have an interesting sign there. Why are you holding that sign today? The final variant is communism.
Well, they keep coming out with all these new variants, and things are not going too good in America right now. If it keeps going that way, it will be communism.
Yeah. You are right. We will be communism.
Yep. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't step on him. that was a good one.
Yeah.
No, but you don't want to step. That was short and sweet. Is basically you want to do it again, so we get a nice clean one.
Sure. So things aren't going too good in America right now, and if they keep going the way that they are, the final variant will be communism.
Short and sweet is the best.
Yep.
Short and sweet is the best.
Well, I like it.
I want to get a picture.
People just don't see this.
So we can make a little clip.
What?
We can make little clips and stuff like that.
And so where do you post them?
We'll post them on our feeds. They're live right now, but I can cut them, paste them, and stuff. But little clips are good.
That's good. Yeah, because I wondered where I could.
So whose sign is this one? Has to be a little kid.
That's you.
That's your sign? You want to get away from that? Let's move away from that. Because this will get us in trouble. That's a good sign.
Right. I don't know that you'll get her to talk. You can smile though, Hat. Hold it up tall.
So what's your sign say?
What does it say?
So 3M, please don't fire my daddy.
Leave her daddy alone, 3M. Leave her daddy alone.
So did you make this sign all by yourself? No, you didn't?
You had help from
You had help from your sister? But you don't want 3M to fire your daddy.
Well, yeah. That's why we are here. I love it.
You're good.
That was good. This is exactly, literally what the sign's for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You made the sign for one of your little kids to hold it.
That's exactly it. You helped
And that's what's happening is they're firing people's daddies.
Yeah.
Because of, you know, we were talking about that earlier, you know, we were talking about Raul and his white shoes, but you know what happens? Look right there.
Yeah.
White shoes.
We were going to establish a rule that we were going to only go after people with white shoes on.
Too far? Sorry.
And guess
These
what?
are kind of like brown now, so.
Oh, so you're arguing, okay, well, we have this mandate that says people with white shoes are in trouble.
Oh.
So now I'm basically the local Friends of the People.
Yeah.
We're with the Friends of the People, and we noticed that you have white shoes, it appears to be, and you're arguing that your shoes aren't white.
Yeah, they're brown.
Your shoes are brown?
Yeah.
Or you're also possibly arguing that those aren't really shoes. Those are like...
They're sandals. They're foam. They're
Sandals.
They're foam? You know, the thing about when they start establishing rules like that where people that have white shoes are in trouble, you know, then you're going to argue that, well, I don't really have white shoes. Well, the thing is we're just picking on a small group. I don't have white shoes on. She doesn't either, you know. But next thing you know, we go after people with gray shoes.
Yeah. I think it's also called discrimination.
That's right. People who have got white shoes, you know. And actually, the worst of it all is when they're going after an immutable part of you.
Yeah.
Something that you can't change. You know, so.
Yeah. Like skin color.
That's right.
Yeah.
When has that ever happened in the United States where they went after or your religion, your beliefs, you know, or your bodily autonomy?
Right. If I can't choose what goes inside my body, I can't make any choice.
Exactly.
Which means we're not free.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
Yeah. At some point, the government could start choosing what goes into your body.
Right.
Like, you know
How
what?
many kids you have?
Or you haven't had enough,
Right.
right? You know what? You've only had 2. Let's say we need you to have 4.
Right.
So what we're going to do is we're just going to house a couple in you.
Yeah.
Right? Can you imagine?
A certain TV show that
Can you imagine if they start forcing housing?
Right.
You know, women are always talking about abortion, you know, and stuff like that. What if they go the opposite?
Right.
They're like, well, you know, you've got a residential neighborhood here,
Right.
you know, and we need to fill them up,
Yeah.
and we're going to place one there,
Yeah.
and you are going to, you know, take care of it for the next 9 months, and then we're going to take it back, and you're just housing.
We lose body autonomy, we lose every freedom we have.
That's right.
The hill will die on. Huh.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
I really wanted the Nuremberg one to go. But I like the Nuremberg one.
Yeah.
She started talking about Nuremberg. That's a good one. Nuremberg is very relevant right now.
Yeah.
Because literally they're talking about it in the news. They're talking about the dog thing. And the Nuremberg had medical stuff. There was medical Nuremberg. So, and that had a lot to do.
Here's the thing, you bring Nuremberg up, and people in political positions, elected officials, that's one of the first things they try to censor. They try to shut that down. They don't want that conversation.
Yeah, because basically back during World War II, there was some sketchy stuff that happened to these people that were in these camps. And they were doing a lot of our medical research that we have nowadays was based on trials on the Jewish people, and they were doing this forcibly in camps, especially the twin trials and stuff like that. Like if you had a twin, oh my God, you were really in trouble. You were big time in trouble. Identical twins were prized for the people like Fauci back in the day. And the parallel to Fauci, and Dr. Death.
Dr. Death.
Yeah, they really are. And the Nuremberg stuff is relevant today. Because I see us paralleling a lot of that.
Well, just like that woman was saying earlier, a lot of the parallels are tied into World War II, the rise of the Nazi regime, the Third Reich. A lot of those things implemented, those ideologies, even the tactics used, are pretty similar to what's going on today. People aren't reading, people aren't having that discussion.
I like the Animal Farm one. No, it was 1984. Okay. 1980. That's a good one. 1984. Yeah. She was talking about that. That's a good one. It's highly relevant today. Yep. People are familiar with this big building that's right here. They see it all the time. And this is 3M. So that's what we're standing outside of. And this is right along Interstate 94. And they are being required, the employees here, they have hundreds of thousands of employees.
We've got the 93 on 94. There's 93 people here. I counted them.
Did you?
So we got 93 on 94.
We had more before, so they went down a little bit. We must have had probably double this before.
Well, my last count was 93, so for now it's 93 on 94.
Okay, that's cool.
93 on 94.
All right. Did you make that sign yourself? We helped with it? So true science doesn't settle. Tyranny disguised as safety. Those are pretty good. Do you know, when you're in school, do you learn about the scientific method? About science? Do you ever have science classes? What do you do when you're doing science? You do experiments and you try to figure stuff out. What happens when you do science and you find something that's unexpected, that you didn't think was going to happen? Sometimes you learn a new thing. That's the whole idea with science. Science is never settled. The whole definition of science is that science is never settled. It's all theory. It's all the idea right now. Gravity. Gravity is essentially a theory, right? Now, it seems like it's a fairly reasonable one because it seems to happen. But why?
I think it still works.
They're not even sure.
Because God created it.
Yeah. So science is never settled.
We're always learning.
What was the other one you had? Tyranny discuss. Is it? We were talking about tyranny a little earlier. You know what happens when people just decide stuff? Like people who have white shoes are in trouble. That's what we were talking about, right? We're just going to make a rule that people who have white shoes are illegal.
Which is ridiculous. Total discrimination.
Yeah, and there's only a small number of people like that who are here. And so I talked to one of them over there who has Crocs on, and her argument was her shoes aren't really white.
Oh.
Plus, they're not really shoes.
Right, there you go.
Right?
Good.
Well, the problem really comes down to the idea that you don't want the government to be able to decide arbitrarily that people with white shoes are illegal.
Yeah.
Right? Because you know what's going to happen? The next thing you know, they're going to say pink shoes are illegal. Now, what she might argue is that that's not really pink.
They're going to make the rules fit their agenda rather than what is needed.
Yeah, so they start making up these rules, and so what you got to do is you got to stand up for people. All right, and this one here, what happened to the first do no harm? All right.
That's the Hippocratic Oath. First, do no harm. But this is before COVID even. out over $4 billion.
So how do you feel? How do you feel that COVID's vaccine is not included in that?
I have no idea what the payout will be. I don't think they even addressed it.
No, but right now it's not part of that.
No. They're under no liability thanks to the PrEP Act.
So if you get vaccine injured by COVID, you're not part of that.
Right. I think they have a plan for countermeasures, but you won't probably see anything happen in the courts for years and years, and then they gaslight, they deny you, and very, very few will probably actually get any payout for it.
Yeah, it's sad.
It is.
Thank you.
And I was like, hey, I did that.
I'm gonna go off. I think I don't have a lot of people on right now anyway.